Welcome back, guys. We're continuing to reassemble the Ram, and before we actually start putting more body parts on there and reassembling everything, our first goal is gonna be to fix this. As you guys remember, this was all mangled. It got hit right in the headlight and this harness was running through there. So we are gonna repair all these wires to make sure that we don't have any issues down the road. So there's no electrical gremlins going on it. So we're gonna properly fix this, and then we'll start reassembling. So let's get to doing this. Alright, so that's good to go. Alright, so up here we pretty much wound up fixing almost all the wires. Some of them just had the insulation scraped off of them, put some electric tape over it. They weren't broken, just the insulation was off of them. And a couple of grounds here wound up fixing. So the rest of the harness is good. We're gonna wrap it back up and then continue reassembly. Alright guys, we got all the wires fixed up, almost like OEM. We're actually able to find this plug in my box of extra wire harnesses. This actually came off of a Mercedes, but it fits this bulb, so it's going to work for this truck, and we're going to continue reassembly. Alright, so this whole huge pile of parts, there's some more there, there's probably more around the shop. We got to put all this back onto the truck. Alright, so this Ram actually has these active shutters here that open and close, so it can heat up faster or cool down faster. So that's kind of cool. But slowly but surely the progress is going. We got our fan in there, the new fan shroud. We got everything on the front, the radiator supports in place. We got the horn in place. Now we're gonna touch up these bolts on the hinges, and once we touch those up, the fender is going to be good to go. Alright, so we got this bumper all put together finally. Pretty complicated bumper. Made me actually bust a sweat on this one. But we got everything because it's got 6 parking sensors in there. It's got a wire harness for the fog lights, and then on top of that, all these brackets, fog lights, these little trims here, everything's intertwined and you have to get it in the correct order. So I had to take it apart, put it together a couple times before I figured out the order. But we got it together. So, and then we also decided to paint the tow hooks red. So we're gonna go ahead and put those on before we get that bumper on there. I think that should give it a nice touch to it. Break up the all black. Almost got my finger there. Alright, so we're installing these lights and these aftermarket LEDs there. That is going to be the halo, and then the other thing right there. I am wiring it to the marker lights. So that way, when you have the marker lights or you have the headlights on, those will be on also. But otherwise, you have the option of turning them off. You don't have to have them on all the time. And I am just using these inline splice. Alright, so we'll plug up the headlight and get it installed. Alright, another piece, I almost forgot it. It's a common piece that gets forgotten. It's an insulator that goes where this fender, basically it's a gap that goes from the fender to the door. This will help with the wind noise or anything else like that, getting through the fender liner. Alright, so it's starting to finally look like a truck now. Everything's turning out real good. Got the grill headlights on there, red tow hooks. Everything's looking good. Also got the rear flares on. Had to take the Hemi badge off of there because the flare won't fit because it goes past this. So we're going to remove that. Otherwise, making real good progress. We're done for today. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Alright guys, since the A-pillar, we did work on it there, we want to ensure that we don't have any kind of rust in the future down the road. So we did a little rust protection. I think that corner turned out real good. We just wound up doing it all the way down the side, and we did it on both sides. So that way you do get a lot of spray and a lot of water and everything down here, so that give it a little extra protection down the road. Alright, now that we've got the undercoating all done on there, we got some new running boards because the chrome ones that came with it, the one on the driver's side, the pads were damaged and everything else like that, and on top of that, the chrome is not going to go anywhere with our theme, so we got some new ones. Let's check them out. I think those are going to look really nice on there. It's going to fit our theme with everything being blacked out. What do you think? I think so. I think that'll be good. Alright, let's get them installed. The mounts weigh more than the running boards. The running boards are aluminum. This is, I'm guessing, all steel. So we got bracket. Even has some kind of plastic covers, so you don't see, I'm guessing, so you don't see those metal brackets. I think these are gonna work out real good. Looks like they're pretty good quality, so can't wait to get them on there. Alright, so one of the last pieces to the Ram just showed up. Let's see what it is. Well, actually that gives it away, but let's check it out. We got a light bar for the Ram. I think it's gonna give it a nice finishing touch. Nice harness, the switch, relay, fuse, everything like it's supposed to be. The wires are nice and thick, so that's always good. And we got a curved LED bar, and I was actually fortunate enough to find one that's already red. So I'm not gonna have to spend the time to tape all this up and prep it and paint it so it matches our black and red Fiend. Let's see how bright this thing is. Oh yeah. This thing's so bright you can even just, daytime, and it's lighting up the whole shop almost. You can see it all the way to the wall over there. Alright, so for off-road use only. Let's mock it up on the truck and see how it looks on here. Oh yeah, I think that's gonna look good on there. Alright guys, so next we're gonna install the light bar. The brackets came in also, but to install these are gonna go right in these channels right here, like that. But to put these in, we gotta use these blind rivets. To put the blind rivets in, we gotta drill some holes in the roof. So, let's give it a try, see what happens with it. Never done this before. Had to install a light bar to drill into the roof, but we're still gonna give it a try. We're gonna use this whiteout marker to mark our holes. All right, now for the scary part. Alright, now that we got the initial hole drilled, we're going to use this step drill. That way we don't have to go that deep, but we'll get it for this blind rivet to fit. Alright, and to install those blind rivets, you need this tool here. So, I'm guessing this is probably like a 10. It wound up being a 1/4 inch thread. So once we got our tool set up with the right head on it, I'm going to put this in the hole that we drilled, and then when we squeeze this, it will pull this and squeeze together and hold in the metal, and then we'll have a point where we can put a screw in there. Okay, now that we got blind rivets installed, put some tape around there, because we are going to put some windshield urethane down in there. Alright, we're gonna have him do this because he's a lot taller than me, and this truck's pretty tall. So we got a good amount of urethane around both those blind rivets, and we are gonna go ahead and put those bolts in. This way it's gonna protect those holes from leaking, because this is the same stuff that they use to put the windshields in, and those definitely can't leak, and that's the only protection that you have on the windshield, is that glue for the windshield to not leak. So we're hoping that this will work on these brackets also. Alright, so now we gotta put that molding back on anyway that we took off for the paint. So we are gonna put a good amount of urethane over where the bracket is, and then we're gonna run a nice bead all the way down the whole side of the truck, because it was double-sided sticky tape. I don't trust that double-sided stuff. So we are going to run a bead of urethane all the way down and put this molding back on there, and we should have a waterproof installation. Alright, so I got the first part done. I think it turned out pretty good. Got everything nice and glued in there. Got plenty of urethane in there. So now we're gonna do the other side. Alright, so we got both the brackets on there. Everything looks really good. Everything looks nice and tight. Everything's just sealed. Time to put that light bar on there and see what it looks. Okay, so we're gonna start wiring up this light bar. The plan is I got this insulation cut back, so once it goes into here like that, and we're gonna run it underneath where this molding is, under here. It's gonna come out right there and then hook up to the battery, and then we're gonna send this piece that hooks up to the switch through the firewall, and it's gonna go underneath the dash and come out, and we're gonna find a nice mounting spot for it. So we're gonna go ahead and solder everything together so it's a nice connection to it. Get the shrink wraps on there, and then we'll run everything up, plug it up, test it, and then once we're done with that, we will go ahead and cover everything up so that way it looks like a factory install. Alright guys, so we got everything all wired up. This wire fits nicely into this channel, and I have a molding that snaps into these. That'll cover everything up, but you can't see it. It comes out here. We'll zip tie everything nice and neat. Got it hooked up to the positive and the negative. Hooked up the little switch. Let's give it a try. Oh, that's bright. Make a blind man see. Alright guys, so now we got the light bar completely installed. Let's take a look at how it turned out. So we got the light bar here. We got that wire hidden there. It all fit nicely underneath this molding. Continues down through here. We got everything zip tied. We got the relay down there. Everything at first glance is not even really noticeable, so that's good, almost factory-like. And then we have the wire going into there, into that firewall. Alright, and I actually decided to put the switch in a different spot. I was going to put it here or here, but then I noticed this spot. I mean, it fits in there nicely. So, everything lights up. And underneath you can't see any of the wires. Everything's zip tied nice and neat. That way can't catch it with your foot or anything else like that. Alright, so we pretty much got this all complete. We're going to take it for the very first test drive just down the street. We're not going to go far. We're just going to see if there's any noises, make sure that everything is good before we go any farther, and we'll see our first impressions of how the truck drives and acts on the road, because we've only been moving it short distances around the shop. Man, this thing's huge. This is the first time that we have it outside since it's been completely reassembled. Really liking the red. Overall, everything's looking real good. So let's go for a drive down the street, see how it does. Alright, as you can see, the truck is really dirty. We still got our work cut out for us. Still gotta replace that latch is broken on there. Still a bunch of stuff. Guy was some kind of remodeling. This is cool. This is unusual. I haven't had a car with to put it in drive like that. I like the screen. This is really cool. Whole bunch of different options. This shows you everything. 11 miles per gallon. Alright, let's go for a drive. Transmission shifting good. Light bar is getting a little bit of a whistle, so we're gonna have to adjust that a little bit. And that's at 26 miles per hour. Alright, it's driving real good. So I'm really happy. We're still gonna have to do an alignment on it, but otherwise, I'm really happy. There's no noises, there's no clunking. So we'll get this to an alignment, and then we'll start driving it on the road. Alright, gonna have a little bit of fun. Alright guys, so we're gonna end it for this series. The video is probably gonna be getting a little bit long, so we're gonna end it here. We got the truck pretty much done. Took it for that first test drive. It was doing good, so make sure you guys subscribe, turn on the post notifications so you catch our next video. Next video we'll have the alignment done already, and then we're gonna finish up all the small little details like the emblems, the cleaning, all that kind of stuff. Basically, we're gonna give it the final touch where it's gonna be 100% ready, and then we're also gonna start applying for the rebuild inspection so we can get this inspected, so we can get a rebuild title versus a salvage one. Okay guys, make sure you catch the next video. Thank you for watching. We'll see you then.